So real quick, I'm going to go through how these are wired because somebody asked for a little more detail on it. So for the power wire, I used auxiliary switch number 1, which is a 5 amp circuit, which comes out of this bundle here. Here's the fuse. You've got this one here is a 25 amp, and then in this bundle you have a 5 amp and I think 2 15s as well. So the one I used was purple and orange, I believe. Oh, purple and green. So the purple and green, they're all the same size wire. So you'd expect the 5 amp to be a lot higher gauge, thinner wire, but they're all the same. So purple and green is the 5 amp auxiliary switch number 1, but there is no ground in here. So you have to find your own ground. I just went to this bolt right here. I just stripped the wire and put it on the bolt, and it's good enough. I mean, super low amperage, any connection is gonna be good enough. So I put this wire, I zip tied it down below the fuse box, and then it comes up right here. And then I zip tied it to this wiring harness, zip tied it right here, sent it through the frame rail right here, and it comes out on this side. It's loose in there, so no issues. Zip tied it to this wiring harness here. And then I did a couple loops with the wire here, and I sent the first, the two, where are they? Here they are. So the 2 plugs. So this is one of them, and then the other one is right here somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, here it is. So you got your 2 plugs, and that's where the wire comes up from the lights. So these 2 wires come up from the lights right here, and they both come through the same hole. On this one, I sent them down through here. Instead of putting them in through this hole and sending one wire up, I actually sent the 2 lights down through separate sides. Otherwise, you would have had wires hanging in here because you can't pull them tight enough if you have them both going through the same thing. So you can see the wire if you look back there. Hi. But I did it down this part here and this part here, and then zip tied them. They're loose, zip tied, and then I zip tied this little extra loop. And then again, I zip tie it to existing wiring harnesses. I figure if there's already wires here, they can handle the heat. So as long as I keep this stuff close to it, it should be good. But really, that's all the wiring. And then my other video shows how to put the lights in. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have more specific questions, let me know. I'm gonna do a slow pan. And then the cowling is gonna go over all of this, so it'll all be hidden under there. I was gonna do some more with this, but I think it's good. Eventually I might come back in here, maybe put it on this bolt so it's not going across here, but who knows. And then I did a couple 0 to 60 runs, wondering why it was not as fast as normal, and I realized I'm sucking air from in here instead of having the cowling that comes down and pulls the air from up in the front. So I was pulling in some warm air. I wasn't looking at my charge temps, but that's probably a big part of it. So with the plastic cowling back on, you can see the intake is going to be coming through. You've got this rubber here, which is going to go down and be on here. So you're getting all of your air right through this section right here. So you can still see the wires, but it shouldn't be an issue. And then when I was driving, I mean, there was probably cold air coming up from here, but I was also just sucking all the air from in there. I also want to show you that I found a use for this worthless subwoofer. It is now my parts holder, so not completely useless. This 4-inch sub, or maybe 5-inch sub, can hold your parts. So I'm going to keep it just for this purpose from now on. Okay, every clip went in easy except for this one. I think it's just the plastic is really thick. Something didn't work. It's not going into metal. It's another sheet of plastic. So this one I had to hit with a hammer. I had to cut little tabs off. Everything else pushed right in. That was a pain. So just, if you guys have issues with that one clip, just know you're not the only one. Another question I got a lot was, can you just buy these and put them in there? No. So these are very, first of all, it's straight back. This one is angled, so when you put your finger in there, you can feel that it gets smaller and smaller as you go back. So it kind of it tapers, as it goes in, it tapers and gets smaller and smaller towards the back. And then when you look in the very back, there's not much there, like you can see on that side. I'm not sure what lights would fit in there, if you have to cut the top out or what you have to do, but you definitely have to drill through the back. So just know they're there. You can find, I'm sure somebody makes lights that go in there, but there's gonna be more modification. probably not very hard, but definitely not buying these lights and just using 3 to put in there, because they are completely different shapes. And these are big, they're the same width all the way through, whereas those get shallower as they go back. So I'm sure I over-explained that, but there you go.
It's over!